Will the united multiversal heroes be able to push back the evil machinations of Darkseid and save more than one universe? Well, let's hop into the pages of Infinite Frontier issue number 6, the grand finale of this miniseries, and find out. So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Shin-Violent Darkseid, the most powerful Darkseid we've ever seen before, an amalgamation of every other version that's existed in DC canon, took the field on Omegaworld. The evil new god gloats about his plan, saying that the Flash has almost gathered just enough energy for him to reshape the multiverse as he sees fit. At the center of this plot too is Roy Harper and his new Black Lantern ring, which essentially turns him into Darkseid's own Omega Lantern. And before you say, hey, wasn't an Omega Lantern already a thing in Green Lantern? When he says it, he means Omega as in Omega beams and Omega sanctions. It's Obsidian who actually manages pulling on through and saving Roy from himself. After all, Obsidian knows a thing or two about living one's life in darkness. He used to hate that fact, but now he knows that it was all part of a greater plan to allow him to save others from similar fates. At the other end of the battle, Justice League Incarnate continues to duke it out with their turncoat member, Machine Head. Machine Head really goes in on Thomas Wayne, the Flashpoint Batman, saying that he's a forgotten hero from a forgotten world and that no one actually likes him. It's here too that Thomas's story basically comes full circle. He knows he has a lot to repent for when it comes to Batman and all the other members of his Earth that he hurt, but saving them all from Darkseid's a pretty good place to start, isn't it? President Superman Calvin Ellis also really gets his moment to shine too. Once he's free of the Meta Knight that Machine Head was using on him, he's able to go and try and rescue the Flash, and while he does stop him from collecting energy, Barry just kind of seemed to disappear into the ether. Surprisingly, he's not the only one either, as Psycho Pirate also ends up disappearing, his final words saying that he's needed in another crisis elsewhere because, well, that's just kind of Psycho Pirate's raison d'etre, isn't it? Roy is also free from the Black Lantern ring too, meaning that Darkseid is down his Omega Lantern, and with no Flash gathering energy, it seems that his plan has truly been defeated. And with no Psycho Pirate to blame, Darkseid decides to take his aggression out on the next guy on the totem pole, Machine Head, who actively tried to usurp Psycho Pirate's position as Darkseid's right hand. He ultimately ends up getting super killed by the Omega beams for all of his trouble, and as for the rest of the heroes, well, they get returned to where they were before the big fight started. Yes, it would seem for some reason Darkseid actually spared the lives of the heroes. Naturally, Kelvin Ellis and the rest of the Justice League Incarnate aren't going to rest until they manage to defeat Darkseid and the threat of Omegaworld. The only problem is no one can actually seem to find Omegaworld on the map anymore. I guess if we want to see what happens next here, we're going to have to pick up that Justice League Incarnate miniseries starting soon from Joshua Williamson. In fact, come to think of it, the whole latter part of this book is basically helping set up other series and other books that are going to be starting soon. We actually end up getting a nice little monologue between Roy Harper and Cameron Chase. It seems that after Mr. Bones ran off to join Leviathan, a book that I thankfully don't have to read, Chase took control of the DEO. We also see people all over the world, including Chase herself, are starting to warm up to the idea of a multiverse, or at the very least not being terrified of the concept. Oh sure, there may be versions of you out there that are better off, they might be good, they might be evil, but did you ever stop and consider you might actually be the best version of you? Roy also vows to go and find his daughter, but first he's deciding that he's going to hook back up with his friends, the Teen Titans, over at Titans Tower. Again, I'm not sure if I have to actually read the Titans Academy book to see what happens there. I sure hope not. Then, of course, we have Darkseid and his forces. Surprisingly, Darkseid isn't all that much upset that he lost the fight with the heroes. He says that they'll get another chance, and soon. Extract also stayed loyal to Darkseid, and we see him talk about potentially growing his team. We got the old Apocalypse regulars like Granny Goodness, Calabac, even Grail, before Darkseid eventually ends up dropping one huge bomb. He says that Omegaworld is a lot more than just a planet. It is actually part of a much bigger, more ancient, and more evil threat from the original Crisis. I'm of course talking about the Great Darkness. What does that mean? Is it referencing the Legion of Superheroes story, the Great Darkness Saga? Yeah, probably, if I had to guess. But wait, guess what? We're not even done yet with this epilogue. Remember I mentioned that the Flash disappeared from the machine that Psycho Pirate had put him on? Well, we actually get to see where he ended up. And well, he's not in the multiverse as we know it. In fact, he's gone someplace completely different, someplace called Multiverse 2. Which is actually kind of a misleading name because as we are told by Pariah, yes, that Pariah from the original 85 Crisis storyline, Multiverse 2 is actually all that that remains of the original DC Multiverse before the Anti-Monitor destroyed it all. Pariah also tells the Flash that this is the world as it is meant to be and that he will see the old universe returned one way or another, and everyone will be happy no matter what it takes. He then traps the Flash in a universe of his own making. It's not a bad universe, mind you. He gets to live with all of his family and supporting characters happily, but it's clear that whatever this is a grim indicator of things yet to come. But if you want to read about that, you're gonna have to check out the next big event comic coming next year. And so that was Infinite Frontier issue number 6, everybody, and oh boy, do they cram a lot here in this last issue, even if a lot of it is just kind of commercials for other series that are going to be starting soon. As far as continuity-based DC romps, this is definitely one of those instances where they do that kind of story right. Joshua Williamson clearly has a lot of love and affection and knowledge for DC lore and history, and it's all on display here. Also, hey, the DC universe is a lot bigger than just your regular old Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. There's a whole other universe full of fun heroes there from across the multiverse who should probably get their own spotlight more often, yeah? All the different storylines with Jade and her father and brother, Roy and the Black Lantern ring, even Superman and Batman of the Justice League Incarnate all get wrapped up all nice at the end. These characters are all in much better places than when all of this started, and they're primed to be spun out into different directions, and in fact, this series is basically already primed to get a sequel. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. This is good stuff. If you love your DC history and lore, if you love continuity and crises, then you can't do much better than this one right now, can ya?
Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.